Hello, my dear friends. It's Carrie at holisticspsychic.com and Soul Star Healing Arts Center in Sedona, Arizona. We have a full moon total lunar eclipse coming up this weekend on Sunday, September 7th, in the sign of Pisces. So today we're taking a look at what the energies are shaping up around this eclipse, of course, what it means for you, and how you can work with the energies to support whatever your goals are at this time. By the end of this video, you're going to come away with some distinct practices that you can do to fully harness the power of the eclipses. Eclipses are known to catalyze rapid change and deep insight, providing a rare, transformative opening for emotional clarity. In astrology, the full moon lunar eclipse, also sometimes called the blood moon because of the red hue that happens around the moon during that eclipse, and therefore a time of deep spiritual and emotional shifts that are oftentimes connected with both endings and beginnings. This is a time where we can release old patterns, face past wounds, and step into a more mature, deliberate future. The overall energy that is coming in, not only with this lunar eclipse, but also the new moon solar eclipse that we're going to have in another 2 weeks from now, ultimately collectively supports a quantum leap in personal growth and opens up pathways to step into new opportunities. Now, the nodes of the moon are always at play anytime we have eclipses, because we have eclipses when the nodes of the moon are conjunct the sun and the moon. So there can be a north node eclipse or a south node eclipse. This full moon lunar eclipse that we have coming up on September 7th is a north node eclipse. Now, while the full moon itself is definitely geared towards completions, releasing the old, letting go, shedding, healing, ultimately that part of the process is so that we can shift into new beginnings, ultimately, which get activated as we come into the solar eclipse in several weeks from now, which I will be making another video about. So taking a look at the chart, I'm going to point out some highlighted energetic activations that are happening on the astrological level. Let's start with the full moon itself, which is in the sign of Pisces. Now, if you have your chart, take a look at where the Pisces sector of your birth chart is, and this is going to give you some information as to the types of topics of your life or themes in your life that are going to be activated during this lunar eclipse. Let me know in the comment section below what house or sector of the chart that Pisces is in for you, and I will reply back with some insights as to the types of themes that are showing up for you now. With this full moon in Pisces, is conjunct the north node of the moon. And so this is a collective theme that everybody is unconsciously kind of striving for or being pulled or called to right now. And Pisces is the archetype of the mystic. So on a collective level, we are all being called on a deep soul level to basically step into a life path that is connected to more meaning and purpose for us spiritually. But again, you're going to be able to know even more exact information about exactly how that's going to show up for you when you know what area of your chart this is in. Now, there's a couple other things that are connected to this that I'm going to talk about, and I will pull the chart up here to show you. We have Saturn, which is retrograde, just retrograded back into Pisces on September 1st. And I've been talking about this Saturn-Neptune conjunction for a little bit now as it first started coming into a highlighted focus a few months ago. This conjunction between Neptune and Saturn really is about reclaiming power and energy. And so I'm calling it like a soul retrieval type energy, especially when it's retrograde. And then as the direct motion happens again, it's the archetype of the spiritual warrior. So we're reclaiming power and energy. What does that mean? Reclaiming energy that we've lost along the way through old traumas and wounds, reclaiming energy that we've given away to other people, reclaiming energy that others have taken from us without our awareness or permission, so that ultimately we can move forward again in more of a sense of authentic alignment and wholeness. So let me just give you some dates here as I pull up the chart. You can see on the left-hand side in the sign of Pisces, the moon is there, the north node of the moon is there. Then you see Saturn. Saturn retrograded into Pisces on September 1st, and it will turn direct again on November 27th, but won't re-enter Aries in a direct motion until February 13th. And it's going to stay in Aries then until 2028. So some of you that were born in the late 60s, 1960s, are likely having your second Saturn return, which is another sphere of significance for you on your path. If you'd like more insight for yourself along those lines, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to book an astrological intuitive consultation with you about that as well. Now let's take a look at the Neptune aspect. Neptune is also retrograde now, still in the sign of Aries, but it will retrograde into Pisces on October 22nd, which it will turn direct in Pisces on December 10th and go back into Aries at the end of January, January 26th, 2026, and it stays in Aries until 2039. So this is a huge collective reset that will never happen again in the scope of the lifetime that anyone that is alive on the planet right now will ever live to see. So Neptune in Aries gives us again that kickstart, that new beginning in regard to guiding ourselves forward on a path of meaning and purpose. So ultimately, this full moon lunar eclipse that we've got going on right now is an activation of this longer term energy. And again, right now with the eclipse, it's about endings, it's about releasing. I'm sure you can recognize where and how this is playing out in your life right now. And if you have questions about how to navigate whatever it is that's ending or completing in your life, also feel free to comment in the comment section below, and I'm happy to shed some light and insight for you. Okay, so the full moon lunar eclipse right now is opposite of the sun in Virgo. And the sun in Virgo is also conjunct Mercury, which brings in an element which further emphasizes this element of introspection because Mercury is all about the mind, learning, studying, sharing ideas with people. And Virgo, in and of itself, in especially in the light of the eclipse season that we're in, is ultimately a lot about self-reflection. Now, on practical levels, Virgo is all about analysis, order, organization. And so one empowerment practice that we all can do to support this shift of endings and new beginnings is about literally purging. This can be deep cleaning your home, getting rid of old things that are contributing to like cluttery energy, cleaning out cupboards, drawers, closets, doing a deep purge right now is literally and symbolically creating more space, new space, fresh energy for new beginnings. Now, in a few weeks from now, we're going to have a new moon solar eclipse, and I'm going to jump on and create another video about that, and we'll talk more about that part as we're getting a little bit closer. But because this is like a bigger cycle that we're in right now, today the tarot insights that I'm going to share are about the major arcana cards that relate both to Pisces and Virgo. The major arcana cards in the tarot, there's 22 of them of 78 cards, and they depict a story of soulful evolution. And so the major arcana cards literally are more connected to our soul evolution than they are the practicalities of our everyday 3D reality. I love sharing tarot insights as it relates to the astrology because it's a really good way to learn how to interweave astrological insights with the wisdom teachings that are connected to the tarot. It actually gives us a couple different ways to look at the same energy. And so let me go ahead and pull this first tarot card up here that relates to Pisces, which is the major arcana card of the moon. The moon card specifically is connected to intuition, dreams, the subconscious mind. This card embodies the mysterious, imaginative, and sometimes confusing aspects of the Piscean nature, including the potential for deception and the vast unknown that lies beneath the surface. As the energy is unrolling after the exact eclipse is a really good time for self-reflection and even shadow work, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about in a moment here when we get to the empowerment practices that we can all do during this eclipse season. But the other energy that is at play is the major arcana card that relates to the sign of Virgo, which is the Hermit card. The Hermit card also is an energy of solitude, introspection, analytical thinking, and the pursuit of inner wisdom and truth, often through the process of withdrawing to gain clarity. So these major arcana tarot cards are giving us some strong indicators and clues as to the nature of the personal growth empowerment practices that we can all be doing right now to support our own growth goals. But here, let me share some deeper insights about the empowerment practices connected to this lunar eclipse. First, we're going to talk about what to avoid. So, because of the fact that when we have eclipses, we are less shielded from cosmic energies that we are not typically exposed to when it's not an eclipse period, and that has to do with the alignment between the sun, the moon, and the earth, casting shadows. And so there's things that we need to avoid during this time because the energies really are different. This is not the time to set new intentions at all. This is not the time to launch new projects into motion. This is not the time to put energy into your manifestation desires. And it's certainly not the time to make impulsive decisions. During the actual eclipse, it's more of a time of going within, having self-reflection, meditation, and even journaling. Journaling specifically about what you're ready to release, let go of, clear, bring to completion, and just journaling about these things likely will set an energy that leads to new insights and new momentum after the solar eclipse in a few weeks. Now, I want to remind us all that the energy of the eclipses is not only connected to the exact moment of the eclipses, but actually has like a 6 month duration. So if you're watching this video a day or two after the eclipse, that's great because you're still going to be able to work with these energies over the course of the next 6 months unfolding of the endings and the new beginnings. The new beginnings part will be more active after the solar eclipse. As I mentioned earlier, this is not exactly during the actual eclipse, but on the days after the eclipse when the moon is waning. This is a really good time to be doing any type of shadow work practices that you might be aware of and like to practice. This can include breath work, again, introspection, things having to do with ancestral healing practices. I actually have several shadow work and ancestral healing type sessions that I guide people through, which can be done through video chat. So if you're interested in that, again, take a look at my website, holisticspsychic.com. Take a look at the session offerings page and reach out if you'd like to book a session for yourself. The other thing that we can do is practice forgiveness. Now, forgiveness, I've said this before, does not mean that you're somehow approving or condoning of some type of hurtful, harmful energy that somebody has projected towards you or cast upon you. Forgiveness means because I love myself, I'm no longer going to allow the energy of this, the memory of this, continue to hurt me in the here and now by keeping it alive within me and my own thoughts and feelings. So again, it's deep healing that is connected to that. And I'm going to leave you with an affirmation that you can work with in the spirit of forgiveness. I now choose to forgive. And you can fill in the blank of the details of whatever it is that you're forgiving if you want to. But I now choose to forgive, I release, and I set myself free. You can say it just like that. I now choose to forgive, I release, I set myself free. Or you can fill it in. I forgive, dot, dot, dot. I release, dot, dot, dot. And I set myself free. Practice this affirmation and let me know in the comments how it is benefiting you. And I'm going to wrap it up here for now, guys. But all my love, blessings, namaste. And I'm going to see you around the corner in the next video. All my love.